You're watching Leafs Morning Take with host Nick Alberga and former NHLer Jay Rosehill. The show starts now.
Holy shit, we have line combinations. This is a big day for Leafs Morning Take presented by Bet365. Nick Alberga, Jay Rosehill. Training camp is here. What's going on, Rosie?
Not much. It's about time, though. Things are cooking. It's good. These line combinations, okay, but it's hard to read into them, I'll tell you that.
It is. There's two different sessions. The first session on the ice right now. We're going to dive into that. All the storylines from Media Day. There was a lot to converse and talk about. Auston Matthews is feeling good. We're going to find out who's going to get the first crack on the top line. But off the top, Rosie, we have to talk about 287 days. Connor McDavid. I'm sorry, folks, if you hate this. We're going to talk a lot about McDavid because for me, Rosie, this is becoming a bigger and bigger story by the day. I can't believe it. Remember, it was a foregone conclusion. He was signing in the summer. There was no way this is going to extend to mid-September. Well, it's here. Camp is underway, and no sign of an extension anytime soon. What were your thoughts on what McDavid had to say the last couple of days?
Well, I just ask myself, let's just say hypothetically, he doesn't sign in Edmonton. Like, if a guy's not like that's not going to sign with his team, what does that last year look like? What does he say? What is the media going to do with it? And when I think about what that could look like, it would be exactly what he's doing right now. He'd be talking about wanting to win still. Okay. He'd be talking about the 25-26 season. Okay. And he wouldn't be talking about wanting to be an Oiler for life. He wouldn't mention wanting to be in Edmonton forever. He would mention do what's best for me and my family. He would mention I've earned this opportunity. He would mention my whole life has built up to this point in time where I think I deserve to make this decision based on my life and my family and what I think I need to do for the future. Everything he's saying is like, I can't imagine it gives 1 ounce of confidence in Oilers fans that he's going to re-sign because he doesn't say any of the things that a guy who's going to sign there would say. And again, we know it's not about money. It's not about leverage. After everything he's said the last, month, I have just about zero faith that he's going to re-sign with the Oilers.
What exactly is that feeling he's talking about? Like, I thought he was just trying to escape the question by saying it's going to be a feeling. It's going to be a feeling. Like someday he's just going to wake up and have an epiphany and be like, okay, I'm going to sign a 3-year extension with the Oilers today. As somebody, again, and I brought this up, I was right there in the thick of things when John Tavares left Long Island. Dude, there's a lot of similarities. That entire year, he's like, I love Edmonton, or I love the Islanders, want to be an Islander. But you're right. Like the wording is very, very interesting where he just keeps bringing up 25, 26 and nothing beyond that. And I think you got to be mildly concerned at the very least right now for the Edmonton Oilers. Like they have to get off to a good start or this has become a bigger and bigger story as the days go by here.
And at the very least is right. At the very least, he's not sure if he wants to re-sign in Edmonton. He could sign whatever term for whatever money. He could. It's a unique situation where he's a player of that caliber. He can sign for whatever he wants, but he's not. So he's definitely, at the very least, hesitant to re-sign in Edmonton. I mean, that's to me a fact. Now, whether he's going to or not, or come around, or whether he's teetering, I have no idea, obviously. I don't even know if he has an idea of whether he's going to resign.
Got to get a feeling. He's got to get the feeling.
Yeah. I guess, whatever. I don't know. Like, say they sign a good goalie, and there you go. Now I'm signing an 8-year, fucking 300. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, man. But every time he speaks, I jump and go, oh, because I got Oilers friends, and it's just huge news. And I know the buzz that's going to send throughout the media world. And again, none of the things that would put your mind at ease as an Oilers fan has come out of his mouth, and lots of question marks and lots of surprising things have come out. And I just keep thinking, if he was not going to re-sign, I can't imagine it would look a lot different than this. What he's saying, if he's made up his mind, I'm going to play this year out, try to win a bloody cup here, and then I'm going elsewhere. I can't imagine it would look a lot different than what it looks like right now.
Look, I don't know if it's the Matrix or something, but like there seems to be this apprehension that people cannot talk about the possibility of Connor McDavid leaving. In fact, I was on the sheet with Jeff Merrick 3 weeks ago. I brought it up. Everybody laughed at me. And I'm like, is it as much of a joke as we think? I don't think it is. I think this is a story about a boyhood dream. Okay. Plain and simple. It's not me trolling. I know Oilers fans are getting pissed off. It is not me trolling. Okay. We saw this with John Tavares. We all know Connor McDavid's favorite team as a kid. There's so many proof pictures to show it was the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's just my opinion. I have no clue what's going on with that situation, but you put yourself in those shoes and say that's your favorite childhood team, and you see and you're like, they're a really good team. They got cap space. They're still a relevant team that's got the potential of winning a Stanley Cup. You have to think about it. And every time I hear him use the word family, where's the family from? They're not from Edmonton, Rosie. I'll tell you that.
But Nick, his wife has a restaurant.
She's got a business,
Edmonton, so he can't leave. He can't leave the restaurant.
Yeah.
It's
just like, do you get, like, I don't know if it's the same. You're out in Alberta. Do you get that sense everybody's even like scared to bring up the possibility of this guy's like, you know what? I don't want to be in Edmonton for 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, my Oiler friends don't even want to talk about it. They're just like, la la la. I can't even do it. I just please let my phone buzz and it says Connor McDavid extends. Like, that's all they want. But they're not stupid, and they can hear the words coming out of his mouth, and they don't sound all that positive for them. So I do think the reality of, or the potential of him not re-signing is starting to sink in with them. But to me, like, Connor is, all he wants to do is win. He doesn't talk about money and stuff. Why does he want to do that? He wants to be known as a winner. I really think legacy means a lot to these guys. It matters to Gretzky. It matters to Mario. It matters to Sidney Crosby, like what you leave behind. And when people talk about you for the next 40 years after you're retired, what is that? Is it this pinnacle of the greatest ever? Or is it just like, yeah, really good player, Hall of Fame? I think Connor cares about that stuff. I don't think you can get that good if you don't care about that kind of stuff. And I'm sorry, but like, it probably eats him alive that he's gone to the final twice and not won a cup, because that would be just like hands clean, done deal, I think, if he was leaning towards moving. But I mean, obviously this is a Leafs show and we're total homers and we're the dumbest fans in the entire planet and all the rest of it. But for him to take his talents, no pun intended, to Toronto and get this team over the hump where, I mean, they are pretty damn close. They're a really good team. They're ready to win now. And to win a cup, and there would be no greater feat for a hockey player or for a pinnacle generational hockey player than to go to Toronto, especially since you're from there, and get that team over the hump that hasn't won since 67. It would be a 3-day ticker tape parade. It would go down, and like it would be in the history books. They'd teach it in schools. It would just be insane. And I'm wondering if he's going, now's my opportunity to do that. It's a huge decision. Like he says, his entire life has led up to this decision. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do? Are you going to win in Edmonton? Good for Edmonton. They're going to be, maybe they'll put the City of Champions back up on the ugly sign out front of the city. But I just don't know if his mind might be shooting for bigger things than that.
It's exactly it. At this point, I mean, he's a unique player where it's not about money. He can call his own shot. If he wants 18 a year, he'll get 18 a year. He mentioned in the interview with Friedman and Bukauskas, it wasn't about like what he needs to see. So then what is it? Like that's the bigger question for me. What's the holdup? And that would be the number one question I'd be asking Oilers fans. Like what needs to happen in order for this? I think he's swayed. Anyways, we can go on for hours about this. Our Super Chat charity partner this season is Sick Kids. Want to make sure that your question or comment gets on the show. Maybe you got a comment about McDavid. Hit us up with a Super Chat. Proceeds from our Super Chat will go to Sick Kids, ranked the #1 research-intensive children's hospital in Canada and 3rd in the world. What's your gut tell you? He's done? He's cooked?
My gut tells me he's... I mean, if I had to bet my life on it, like one bet, it would be that he's leaving. I mean, I think the chances of him leaving are greater than the chances of him re-signing after all the things we've heard. That being said, if he did re-sign, I'd be like, oh, okay, I still certainly a chance he's going to. But like, if he's going to re-sign, why put himself through this? Why do all of this? Why say the things the way he's saying them? So I don't know. Every time I see the guy answer a question, I'm blown away he's still answering questions about his contract. Why not just shut that down? But it doesn't look good, man. And honestly, it's exciting as hell, and maybe it'll all come to nothing, and that there's potential of that. But the fact that everything that we do with our show in our market for the Maple Leafs and where they're at and what their cap space is going to be at the end of this season, and the fact he won't even talk about past this season and all the things, I don't know, man. It's not a great look. And yeah, I guess we could go on, but it's pretty exciting if you're a Leafs fan because there's potential he could come there,
buddy.
Man.
It's I've been listening to songs about coming home, man. I'll be honest, the last week, like just pump up tunes, sipping on Simply Spiked. I'm just gonna sit back, relax. I think it's bullshit too that Oilers fans are getting pissed. I brought this up. Like, I remember all the trolling when Matthews was a UFA to be, the nice speculation last year. We can enjoy this a bit, and we're gonna let this ride out a bit and examine the potential of Connor McDavid actually leaving again, because I don't know if it's the Matrix. People don't want to talk about it, but if this does happen, we are going to be the first to tell you. We discussed this back in the springtime here on Leafs Morning Take. And support of Sick Kids, John Gallagher, thank you so much for the super chat, guys. Looking forward to upcoming year. Do you see a scenario where we salary dump 34 and sign McJesus? No. If they're bringing in Connor McDavid, it is to play alongside Auston Matthews, and you have 2 potential years at that if McDavid signs on July 1, and then you go from there. The cap's going up exponentially, too. It's not about the salary cap for the first time ever as well, Rosie.
Yeah, which is wild. And I mean, the timing has to be perfect. If 2 years ago, no one had even thought about McDavid not being an Edmonton Oiler, and we had signed our big boys to long-term tickets, and all of a sudden it's like, well, yeah, maybe you have to make some kind of crazy trade or give somebody away. You just have to open up room. But I mean, if you look at the Leafs salary cap situation coming off the books, they already have money off the books right now. And then there's a ton coming off the books next season. The lineup and the timing could be absolutely perfect. So no, it's not about moving on from one of their big dogs. It's about, getting McDavid done. If that we're getting way ahead of ourselves, but it would be getting him done and getting him into the cap and then surrounding him with the other players they have and then trying to fill in from there. And again, no one's ever won the cup with a guy making more than $10 million. So there's going to have to be other parts of the puzzle and other pieces, and the D are getting a little older, and there'd be lots of things that were going on. It's not a guarantee, but I mean, for a guy like that, a generational talent, you're doing whatever you can just to get him on the piece of paper, and then you work from there.
Bottom line, let us be horny about this, okay? Are you ready to dominate your fantasy hockey league this season? Daily Faceoff has your back with the brand new DFO Fantasy Draft Kit, your one-stop shop for everything you need to build the perfect fantasy hockey team. We're talking player projections, updated line combinations, power play units, sleeper picks, bust warnings, and team previews. Whether you're a seasoned vet or a fantasy rookie, this kit has everything you need to dominate your league. So before you make your first pick, head on over to dailyfaceoff.com/draft-kit and get your hands on the Fantasy Draft Kit. Fantasy hockey domination starts at dailyfaceoff.com. Another great interview for you folks today. We've been piling them up here at Leafs Morning Take. Oliver Ekman-Larsson. We had a chance to catch up with OEL last week, Rosie. We're going to play that in about 20 minutes or so here.
Yeah, good dude. Nice, well-spoken fella, Swedish guy. I racked my brain trying to find like an unlikable Swedish guy that I've played with, and it just doesn't really happen. And the more I meet of them, they're all the same, just really good people. So that was a good interview. It's good to get these guys and see where they're at as they head into the season here and get ready for what I hope is a hell of a season. But yeah, looking forward to that one.
The best part of the interview, folks, in the span of 10 seconds, OEL brought up 2 Swedish legends, at least in these parts. Rickard Wallin, a former teammate of Jay Rosehill, and Jonas Gustafsson. Is he also a former teammate of yours, the Monster?
Monster, yeah, man. I remember when he got there. There's a story of Berkey wanting Monster so bad, he took a plane and rode a train and took a gravel road and showed up at Monster's house with, his dress shirt just soaked right through, and you can picture Berkey just sweating bullets to make sure that he showed how much he wanted to get this guy. And he said that was what put it over the top, and he signed. And yeah, he was the best goalie, not in the NHL, but yeah, not the greatest era in the world. We don't have to talk about that, but it's funny. It was like he didn't know that Börje Salming and Matt Sundin and other Swedish legends had played for the Leafs. He picked a couple from my era, which I appreciated.
I think he did his research. I didn't ask him that, but I think he Googled the show a bit and the research. Which I respect. We did some research on him as well. So OEL coming up in about 20 at the Leafs Nation 4-1 on YouTube. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Leafs Morning Take wherever you find your podcast. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review. And don't forget to visit theleafsnation.com. So the annual media day yesterday, camp underway. They're on the ice. And we find out Matias Maccelli, I guess we'll get the first look with the big boys, although it's important to stress that Max Domi is another guy they're looking at, lower body injury, so not taking main practice time right now.
I know these lines mean nothing, nothing to me.
we got a whole board. About? Producer Vic did a great job, man. Look at that.
It does look sharp. I mean, it does look sharp. Let's do that when it's the final round. But we knew Maccelli would get a look with Matthews, and then you could argue, well, there's your answer. He's going to play with them first, except Max Domi's injured right now. So for that reason, I say it's kind of worth nothing. But aside from that, on who's going to play with their line, at least we get to see Maccelli play with Matthews and Nyes and see if there's any chemistry there. It's hard in camp. You're running drills and dicking around. Camp's not my favorite thing in the world, but at least you'll get to see them together. But inevitably, I'm not sure how much that tells the future of the chemistry of this lineup in camp. You can kind of get a little piece of that in preseason, and then obviously when you're playing with real bullets, it'll be interesting to watch the lineup combinations.
We need new t-shirts. Camp wasn't my favorite thing in the world, but I fought 7 times by Jay Rosehill.
Well, preseason, yeah. It was meaty back then, man. You'd play the Flyers like 3 times, and they'd have like 4 mutants, all and everyone It's like it would be like impossible. I'd have to go out of my way to not fight in a preseason game when you're playing the Flyers. And it's just, it was wild times back then. But you just put your head down and ass up and away you went. But things are a little bit different. Although we did see in the prospect tournament, guys are getting gritty. Guys are wanting to show things and prove themselves and show their heart. So we'll pay attention in preseason a little bit, see if it gets feisty.
I'll be honest, I got a bit of a tingle in the pantaloons earlier today. I saw a clip of Auston Matthews roaring down the wing, and he went bar out, okay? Oh. And I know it's one little clip, but he looks lean, he looks mean. We talked about it the other day. The shot is everything to Auston Matthews, the precision. How's he feeling? So I was fired up a bit.
Yeah, man. I mean, it seems like it was the entire season last year for me where I was like, this guy's not healthy. And it looks like he's lagging in certain spots. His shot doesn't seem as dynamic, and you're like, I know what this guy is, and you could literally rewind and watch a play and you're like, that's not him. That's not, something is holding him back. He's not able to do what he does, and we've seen a million times. It's not like he forgot how to do it. It's not like he got worse over the summer. He wasn't healthy, and it's going to be such a breath of fresh air, because I just put it in the back of my mind like he's not 100%, and him not 100% is still pretty damn good, but you just kind of accept it. And if he gets back to 100% and he is healthy and he is dynamic and explosive like he has been the year before, look out, man. I mean, there's a lot of pieces that could fall into place this season, and it gives us a lot of reason to get pretty excited.
I admire commitment. Donnie Does Dishes watches every episode of Leafs Morning Take, albeit as a troll and an anti-Leafs guy. He says, we hear this every year about Matthews. Again, I admire the commitment.
And sometimes he puts up fucking 70 rips too, Donnie. So what if you hear it every year? That's because he's ridiculous. He got two Rocket Richards and a Hart Trophy. Sorry, we won't talk about it anymore, Donnie boy. I'm done.
That's our guy. I like that you're ripping off Donnie a bit there. But Matthews says he's fully healthy going into this season, which wasn't the case this time last year, which is excellent news. The other thing I caught was like Brad Treliving, some of the things he had to say, confirmed they're still searching for a top 6 forward. Said he had a heart-to-heart with Morgan Riley after last season. I wonder, you ever had a heart-to-heart with a GM back in your playing days? How did that go, Rosie?
No, I wouldn't call it that. Not a heart-to-heart, no. But it's funny to me that Morgan Riley is just, it's like he's on this pump up tour and everyone's pumping him. Maybe he looks really good. I'm like, how good can a guy look in summer skates? But like, like a girl will get like broken up.
Hey, Rosie, all I'll bring up, and it's funny you say that. Remember this time last year, we were all horny and excited because Mitch Marner had a good skate in Aspen with McKinnon and Crosby. Remember that?
Everyone
Yeah.
came on. I do remember that. Man, Mitch looks good, boys. But it reminds me of a girl who breaks up with her boyfriend, and all the girls take her out and they're like, "You're gorgeous, you're beautiful, you're so smart." And everyone's like, "Yay." And she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so back." But I like Morgan Riley, and I hope he does look good. And I
Yeah.
hope he does have a hell of a year. And I think he can be better than he was last year. I really do. People are talking about, well, he can't get any better as he's getting older. He's not 37 years old. He's not. And he can absolutely be better this year than last year. So I hope he got his mind right. I hope that he had good talks with the brass. And I hope the boys think he looks unbelievable on the ice. And I hope he has a ton of confidence and he's in really good shape. And I hope he gets off to a great start because I know he's capable of it.
Yeah, I love Morgan Riley, and I think without question he'll get the first look to be the power play quarterback. It seems like we have this conversation every year, but again, he's going to get that shot on the top unit, which means exposure, extreme exposure to the big boys. I think to that point, they were talking a lot about how he played late in the season into the Stanley Cup playoffs, and it's all about consistency, but I like the fact that they're being transparent. They know that Riley has another level to get to. We'll see if he gets there, but he lost 6 pounds. Again, that's a theme around the NHL. Everybody's in fantastic shape. I guess Stuart Skinner lost 25 pounds or 20 pounds in Edmonton, but it's another thing now to go out there and prove your worth. And I've seen enough good things out of Morgan Riley to suggest he's going to be much better this season, Rosie.
Yeah, you'd think so. I was looking at his DB the other day and looking at his point production, and he can set up plays and be the first pass on a lot of good plays that end up in the back of the net. I would like to see his D zone and his D shore up a little bit this year and have him be a plus player. I think he's insulated fairly well with the D core that's there, and he can lean on them and find a good, partnership with his partner. And again, there's no reason he can't be better than last year and build on it. A hockey career is funny, man. You've got personal things happening. You're having children and you have wives and these different things are going on, and you can have an off year where things are distracting and you're trying to get back on page with how you felt the year you felt the best, and it's just not happening. And then you get frustrated, and then, too many games go by, and then the media is pissing you off by asking you all these stupid questions, and it can get away from you in a hurry, and you can lose your confidence. And a good summer of good mental, thinking properly mentally and being in a good state mentally, being in a good state physically, and literally just resetting your mind and going into a new season, looking at it like a fresh slate is all it takes sometimes. And I hope that's the case for Morgan Riley, because as we both agree, his potential is certainly there to have an impact on this team. And I think he will.
In support of sick kids, Maxentius Decimus, one of our favorites, sends this is super chat. Do you see Stolarz signing an extension before game one? What do you see the contract looking like? And I'm happy you bring that up, Maxentius, because that's something that Brad Treliving addressed yesterday and said he's hopeful. And I think we heard more as well from Stoley telling Luke Fox he'd like to get something done before the first game of the season. So my read on things, I think it gets done over the next couple of weeks. I mean, we had Stoley last week on the show or the other day, and he admitted that he just wants to get paid fairly, and I think it'll come together here.
Yeah, I don't know why they it's weird when I'm on this side of the rank and I'm like, what's with these arbitrary deadlines? Like before game one, like what happens after game one? Treliving's probably like, why does it have to be done? They're busy. They're getting fucking physicals done and they got to do concussion baseline and there's running around in camps busy and there's people everywhere and there's too many bodies in and you got to cut a bunch of guys and get them out of your room. And there's a lot going on. Why do you have to get it done? Like, I don't give a rip if it's a week into the season. I really don't care. They both want to get a job done. Stoley's not going to ask for $12 million. Treliving's not going to lowball the hell out of this guy and alienate him. They're going to get a deal done, whether it's before game one or not. Who gives a shit? When they have time to actually say, hey, we're really close. Do you want to bang this thing out right now? And his agent's in town or what? Like, it happens when it happens. It's not this. I don't get this arbitrary deadlines of when these things have to happen. It doesn't really matter. I'm pretty sure it's going to get done sooner than later would be great. If it's hanging over your head for months and months and they can't come to term and the media is asking them every day, yeah, that becomes a distraction. But as of right now, it'll be done when it'll be done. And I'm sure it'll be, all signs point to it being fairly amicable and fair.
Do we have a confirmation on this? But Maxentius is saying that Stoli said he doesn't want to negotiate if not signed by game one. So
I
obviously, when
never
you
heard
hear
that.
that, if you're I didn't hear that either. So if anybody in the chat wants to bring up the tweet or confirm that is true, we could address it. That changes everything. And I suppose it's kind of funny because we just talked about McDavid, how the pressure is mounting, and now it's like, you know what, July 1, maybe a couple days before Stoli will sign. But I think you're so right. I think they'll come to a conclusion. It sounds like it's going to be a 3 to 4 year deal, around $4 to $5 million. Are you comfortable with that, Rosie?
Yeah, I mean his numbers were as good as anybody in the league. So you know what his ceiling is. It's a high end goaltender, and you get him. If it starts with a 4, I'll be thrilled. I think he's worth $5 million. Again, I think not that he has a knock, but I guess what would bring him down a little bit is like you haven't proven it for a long period of time. I think playing in Toronto kind of negates that. Like you can find out pretty damn fast what a guy's made of if you throw him in Toronto in between the pipes and have him not just fight for a job, but hold a job and then put up consistent numbers and play against the best teams in the world and still keep consistent numbers, which what he did last year. So I didn't hear anything about him saying I have to sign before July 1 or before game 1. You'd think that would come up when we had his interview and all the rest of it. But why would he say that? Like, so when are you going to sign then? After the season? I don't really get that. And, as Zach Hyman said, I think yesterday, he's like, lots of guys go into their final year of their contract without an extension. It's not that huge of a deal.
Okay.
But certain players
Zach.
with the spotlight on them becomes a huge deal. So,
sure, Zach. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, Zachy. But what?
Yeah, they
say
in the Oilers room, it's not going to be a problem for them to have to answer.
I'm telling you, they're going to go the whole freaking year without McDavid signing, and that's just what it's going to do because I don't think he's going to re-sign. So the whole year, he's not going to have a contract, and you guys can ask him every bloody week about his contract. Eventually, I almost guarantee he's going to go, I am not talking about my contract anymore. The season has started. I'm focusing on this year. I want to win a Stanley Cup. I want to win a Stanley Cup for the Oilers. I'm an Oiler, and I'm not talking about anything furthermore. I expect that to come up sooner than later, but I don't think he's going to sign the whole damn season because I don't think he's going to sign at all.
Look, I'll be honest. We're already discussing the nation vacation. What is it, 26, 27? I think it's got to be in Edmonton. McDavid's return to Edmonton as a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs. By the way, we are announcing our nation vacation in a couple weeks here, and you could probably do the math as to where we're headed for this nation vacation. And damn it, it's going to be a great trip. The last thing I'll add on the goaltending. Dude, with the cap expected to maybe go up to as much as 104 next year, to lock in Stolarz and Wool for a couple years at around $8.5 million, dude, like I feel good about that, especially knowing what's to come. If it's not McDavid, I think the Leafs will get involved, to say the least, on July 1. Alex Tuch's going to be out there. Who knows who else is going to be there? Like, they have flexibility. And again, it's weird to see and talk about because it hasn't been a thing in a decade, but I feel really, really good. I think you talk about extracting value in between the pipes to get Wool and Stolarz in that combo and have Hildeby as a 3 around that money. Like, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a crucial position. I mean, no one has ever won a cup without quality goaltending.
Mm-hmm.
And without it, you could have the greatest team in the world and you're not going to get there. It's crucial. So like you say, $104 million and you got 8 wrapped up in 2 quality goaltenders that can do the job for you. That's a lot better place than a lot of teams are in. I'll tell you that right now. And I'd like to see it wrapped up. I think it will be wrapped up. I like how there's no tension, no animosity. These guys get along. They kind of share the crease. They support each other. The team likes both of them. They both like the team. Like, everything's lined up real hunky-dory. Obviously, things can change, but there's just seems to be no drama and no issues with getting these contracts done and having those guys locked up because I think they deserve it.
In support of Sick Hits, J-Rock writes in, what do I need to do to get burned by Rosie? LOL. Thank you for the super chat. What does he need to do, Rosie?
I think just act like a dickhead quite a bit, like Donnie does dishes.
Dude, I mean, you talk about somebody committed to a shtick. Donnie Does Dishes has been around with us for like 2 years now, man, and he hates the Leafs, and I love that about him. He still shows up every day, gives us the view, right? So
he's got to be a former Leaf who's just been scorned too many times, and he can't give it up, but he hates him or something. I don't know.
You know what's been kicking up? I don't know for you. Like, I'm very involved on Twitter. There's a lot of Marner stan accounts just randomly tweeting at me, and I've been blocking left and right. Like you look at their accounts, like 3 or 4 followers, but they're coming at me the last couple days. I don't know what's going on, man.
Like, what do they got to say right now?
Out of nowhere, they're just coming at me. I guess they watched the show or things we've said about replacing Marner, and they're just randomly coming at me. It's really bizarre. I haven't really felt the heat until now.
I don't know. You can you see where people you've blocked? Is there like a list? You must have pages and pages of them.
It's got to be at least like 500.
I'm a virgin. I've zero blocked people on Twitter my entire career, which is not long, but it's funny the differences in you and me on the old Twitsy machine.
Yeah, I've been on Twitter for way too long, and there's a certain line that if you cross it, it's an easy block. It's like, why do I have to deal with this person? I just block them.
Anything personally negative, and it's a block.
No, it's usually name calling. Like if somebody calls my mom something or says something aggressive like that, it's an easy block and report. I mean, I love the aspect of Twitter. I think it's a great forum to interact with hockey fans alike and express your interest and love and passion. But I think there's a line that people cross, and that's what pisses me off. And that's when you get blocked and you don't read my content at all. So
people cross the line with you a lot, it seems like.
Yeah, I think I invited a bit too, but I am jacked about this Maple Leafs team. Let's get to this interview. This show was brought to you by Simply Spiked. And Rosie, over the next couple weeks, sitting back, hearing the quotes of Connor McDavid, rest assured, I'll be playing some great music, just counting down the days like I do every day with a Simply Spiked in my hand. Try the Simply Spiked Lemonade, the OG Classic, Simply Spiked Peach, a sweet and juicy sip, and Simply Spiked Limeade, the newest flavor in the lineup, perfectly sweet and tart. Don't forget, 5% alcohol, contains real fruit juice. It just got all the remnants that I need to just enjoy the McDavid sweepstakes. Can we call it that?
Why not? I mean, at least we're off the starting line with it for sure. There's valid reason to start thinking that way. I will say that. But this weekend my wife has gone back to her home of Vancouver, and I got the boys, and we're gonna go up to the farm, have some fishing and some dogs, and look at the mountains. It's pretty nice this time of year. The combines are grinding away in the fields. It's nice, and Daddy might have a couple of Simply Spiked himself. So looking forward to this weekend and enjoying some of that goodness.
Must be legal drinking age. Please celebrate responsibly. Pick up Simply Spiked at your local liquor store for your next hangout. I know we had been talking off the air. How are you doing after having to make some tough decisions with your roster? You're coaching your kids' team this year, you mentioned.
Brutal, man. I had to cut someone yesterday, and
oh no.
Oh, I wasn't sure how they were going to handle it. I was hoping they'd be like, F you, but they were so kind and where do we go from here? And where does this leave us? And thank you so much for the opportunity. And man, this came out of nowhere. We didn't expect it. And I'm just like, God. And I'm driving home from this rink. We had to go out of town for practice, and just kills me, man. Like, I'm in this depression for this kid. Inevitably, you realize they're going to land on their feet, and it's that you did it for a reason, and they're going to be better there where they're going to go as far as development and confidence. But, God, it is way harder than I thought. It ruins my day every time. And then when you got to do a whack of them, there's different responses all the time. And sometimes you're in shock by what you're getting in return. But our roster is finalized. We're going to start the season here. 2 more exhibitions this weekend. But no fun making the team. I'll tell you that. I was not anticipating it. I guess I didn't think too far into it. But making 11 and 12-year-old kids try to be tough in front of you, and you just see the tears welling up, and then they're hitting the ground and they're shaking your hand and looking you in the eye, and you're like, God damn, these are good kids, and you got to hurt them like that. It's tough, but it's part of the business, and I guess at the end of the day, it builds character.
It's okay. It really does. I remember when I was 10 years old, I got cut for my first ever team, albeit I probably would have been the best player on that team, but the coach called me too mechanical. I showed up to a tryout. It was, I guess, raining, so it was just me and another guy. This dumbass coach had me and this guy show up. We were pinned against each other. One of us was making the team. One of us was getting cut. He called my pitching motion too mechanical, but the issue with he never watched me hit the baseball. And so just suffice it is to say, the next season, I was the number 3, number 4 hitter in the lineup on the team. Different coach took over. And I always remember that time. I think it builds character, man, how you handle that type of situation. And I like the fact of hearing this kid handled it with grace, man. It's a part of like it's life sometimes, right? It's not always going to be peaches, right?
Yeah, and you never know what feels like something really difficult might end up being a blessing. I know for me,
Mm-hmm.
my second year bantam, I was bantam AAA, and I was playing forward at the time, and they decided to go with a D. And I was kind of, this, it was last cut. Everyone thinks they're last cut, but I think I was. And I went down to the double A team in my hometown, and I was pissed off, and I had a chip on my shoulder. And, I was, puberty had come on. I had the testosterone. I was angry, and I played like a friggin' maniac down there. And I was the captain and was all over the place. And 12 months later, I made midget AAA as a first year, and I just don't think there's any way in hell I would have done that had I made that bantam AAA team by the skin of my teeth. And sometimes it's good to go down and have something to prove and be the big fish in the small pond. And I kind of tell those players that, and their parents are like, "Yeah, thanks for that bullshit answer." But I really think it can be true, and it can build character, and you got to go through that stuff. And if you really want something, then you better be willing to go through some dirt to get
Yeah.
it. It's not all going to be clear sailing. You're not going to make every team you've ever tried out for. You're not going to be the superstar every time you go. You're going to be the first year guy. You're going to be the inexperienced guy. Sometimes you're going to have to change your role in battle and do whatever it takes. You want to play in the NHL, you're going to have to go through some ups and downs. And if you can't handle getting released from one team that you may or may not should have been on, then maybe you're going to have to want it a little bit more. So keep that in mind, kids.
Very well said. Very darn sure of you, which we love at the Leafs Nation 401. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Lastly, before we get to OEL here, shout out to Sherry Radway making her first appearance here in the chat. Appreciate you. Welcome to Leafs Morning Take, Sherry.
Yeah, Sherry, welcome, girl. Go on and get it. Look at you, first time.
We're building a nice little girl tribe here on the show. I like that. I like
Good.
it.
They're smarter than some of these doughheads in the chat, anyways, aren't they?
Shout out Donnie. Okay, without further ado, here is Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Well, this is a long time coming. Happy to welcome to Leafs Morning Take Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And I guess we can preface the conversation, Ollie, by bringing up how we met each other. So last year at the Four Nations, we did a watch party at Greta Bar. And who so happens to stumble upon this place to watch the Four Nations game? I think it was Canada-US, but you and Pontus Holmberg. It's amazing how that works out, and look at us months later. How are you, buddy?
Good to see you again. Yeah, I picked the wrong spot, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much, because you got bombarded by everybody. Like, poor guys just wanted to watch the game, and then here's like a Leafs watch party that you stumbled into. But great to have you on, man. How was the summer?
It was good. It was long, but it was nice to spend some time with the family and the friends back home. And now we're back and ready to go.
Yeah, so you're back in Sweden, I guess. Growing up, there's been some Swedish players play for the Maple Leafs. Did you follow any of them, or who were your idols growing up, being from the part of the world that you're from?
I mean, I always had Lidstrom and Peter Forsberg, but now like knowing a little bit more about the Leafs history and Salming and obviously Mats. Playing a big part of this organization for a long time. That's two guys that obviously everybody looked up to in Sweden. But yeah, the Monster was here playing. I kind of followed him a little bit. Got the chance to play with him and being around him. And Rickard Berlin was here, I think. So
That's my era.
I feel like yeah, exactly. But so I think I have pretty good understanding what the Swedish guys were playing here, and it's just nice to kind of know the history a little bit and that stuff.
I love that. That's the first time I think on this podcast that Ricard Wallin and Jonas Gustafsson been brought up in in 10 minutes, 10 seconds apart from each other. So excellent stuff there, Eki. But did some research myself. I think every time we like to get guests on, like to know a bit more about them. But Wikipedia tells me you have a pretty incredible family tree when it comes to sports, including your grandfather played for Sweden at the Olympics. Did you feel more pressure as somebody who had all these relatives around them have success at a very high level?
I would say no. I think that was just, unbelievable help and another source kind of to use. But I've always been a guy that been playing the game because I love it. I've never been looking at it like I gotta make it to the NHL or SHL or whatever the level was, right? Like I just played the game because I loved it, and I still do. And I think that's when you play your best hockey, when you just go out and have fun with it. So, but back to the family tree, I think that was just a big help for me. Obviously, my granddad playing long way back, but it was I mean, he was a smart player, and he kind of was always there and giving me yeah, tips and yeah, stuff that I was thinking about while I was skating or playing or whatever it was. So no, I have a lot to thank him and my whole family. So it's been fun kind of just following my family around and kind of share like the experience that we have in the world.
Well, now that you have a lot of experience, Guy, with over 1,000 games, you've played in some different markets, some bigger, some smaller. But what's your takeaway from your time with the Maple Leafs and being part of that organization?
It's been unbelievable. You always, when you're outside looking in, you never know what to expect, right? But I feel like you hear so much about the Maple Leafs, and I feel like everybody been treating me so well, and just the first class organization and the fan base have been unbelievable to me and my family running into them. So only good things to say, and it's been a lot of fun this first year playing here. That's for sure.
You've had a lot of, ups and downs, I would say, in your career. What's the biggest lesson you've learned along the way, man? It's like, it's crazy, and we're all getting up there. But like, I remember covering you. You were the captain of the Coyotes, or the PP1 QB. Saw you at All Stars, and I think you've done a really good job of like transitioning and more of knowing your role here at the latter part of your career. But talk about the ups and downs of your career.
Yeah, I think you gotta adapt. I mean, the league kind of get better, the players get better, and fortunate enough, I get older. But I'm trying to kind of find things that I can improve on and kind of, yeah, I just feel good, and to be honest with you, I feel like I'm 25 again. Playing, moving well, and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think it's all about adapting and kind of finding your role, and I think when you get older too, you kind of yeah, you kind of start looking what's important, and I think winning is everything, and I've been fortunate enough to do that, and hopefully I'm bringing that into the locker room every single day, and that's something that I can help. But with that being said, I think, yeah, ups and downs. I think everybody goes through it sooner than later. Like, it's just what you do with it and how you come out of it. But could probably sit here for weeks if we had to go through it, how everything played out. But I feel like everything happens for a reason, and I had an unbelievable time in Arizona. I loved it there. Was in Vancouver, loved it. Got bought out. Had a chance to go to Florida. Worked out great, and now we're here. And that's one thing with hockey players. It's not enough time to kind of like look back and take everything in. So I guess I have to save that for later. But you're just trying to stay in the moment and trying to do what's best for the team here. And obviously, I want to get better even when I get older. So that's kind of my go-to, and I want to win again. And that's why I think it's a great spot in Toronto.
Yeah, and obviously the team's going through some changes, trying to adapt their identity a little bit. And your older players, as they get older, don't seem to play more physical as they get older. But maybe with the league going the way that it has gone, and the younger players that are coming up, it seems like you have adopted, a bit of a, more of an intense role on the back end there. Do you think that's something you can keep building on as this team continues to go towards that direction?
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like I've always had that kind of bite to my game, if you can call it that. I always liked playing that way. It's not like I'm throwing people around and making the big hits, but I'm just trying to get in the way when I can and kind of give my teammates some more room and some more time with the puck, and that's part of the game too, right? And that's something that I really enjoy playing that way. So I know I can play that way. Might not be the highlight hits, but I think I'm in pain to play against sometimes, and I like playing that way.
Yeah, confirmed you're a bastard to play against, even watching you play on Florida a couple years ago. But I want to follow that up. Like, I've asked you this in person, but like, who unlocked this part of your game? Because again, earlier on in your career, you were known more for your puck moving, running the power play, more of like an offensive minded guy. And then something clicked, especially when you went to Florida. And it seems like Paul Maurice has this innate ability to unlock this set of players. Like, would you attribute it to him? Is it just a moment in your life where you figured out how to play at this level? Like, what was it?
No, I think if you ask my buddies and my family back home, everybody probably thinks that I'm this nice, happy guy, but also have this side when I step on the ice or doing something competitive. I have it have a dark side as well, if you can call it that. So I think I've always had that side, but it's just you live and you learn, and you kind of, like we talked about before, we adapt, right? Like just trying to find ways to, yeah, stick in the league or even win a Stanley Cup or whatever it is. I think that's what it comes down to, doing whatever it takes and finding a way to chip in on your team or for yourself. So yeah, it's that's something that I'm proud of, that I kind of been doing, and I feel I have a lot more to kind of give with the puck and in the ozone. Yeah, I'm working on it every day, and I'm trying to get better. So excited about a new year.
Yeah, and you've got that perspective of being on that Florida Panthers team, winning the Stanley Cup. You know what that looks like, and you know what that feels like team wise. Now being part of the Leafs and taking that team to 7 games and feeling like you guys are at the brink of breaking through. Do you think this group has what that takes, and do you think you guys are far off from being a team that can win the Stanley Cup and can beat teams like Florida?
I think I wouldn't be here if I didn't think we could win. I think that's the main thing for me, especially in this time of my career too, and have had that taste to actually go all the way. And I mean, look at Florida; they were in one final before, and it takes time. You gotta kind of go through the tough years. Sometimes you gotta go through some tough losses to kind of get to that point, and I feel like we did that last year. We took a step in the right direction, uh, even if it wasn't close enough. I felt like we showed that we could play with the best. Now it's just to get to that next level, and I'm confident in the group that we have. It's unbelievable guys in that room, and the organization is doing everything they can for us to have everything that we need to do it. So that's something that you need to have for it to happen, but it's also on the players to go and get it, right?
For sure. And that series against Florida on a personal level, what was that like for you, considering everything you went through the previous year with those guys?
I mean, it was hard in the regular season to obviously play against your old team, but I felt like in the playoffs, all you wanted to do was to beat those guys, obviously. But no, so it's always tricky playing against your former team, and obviously having those relationship and going on that run, and sharing so many things together, right? So it's not easy, but at the same time, I'm so thankful for the time that I had there and for the the players that I played with and that organization. And I learned a lot just being around that team and that organization and the players that they had. So that's kind of how I look at it. And hopefully I'll bring that into this organization and then can help them, help us get to that spot, you know?
Yeah, and it's not too long before you're going to be together with this team where you've made some changes. Obviously, the team's trying to get a team that's more suitable for the playoffs and for those long runs. With some of the additions you guys have had, are you excited to get going? And what's your expectations for this season?
Yeah, for sure. I think, I mean, obviously the guys that we added this summer, I'm really excited about that. I mean, Dak that I played with in Vancouver, I know that what he's capable of doing. I think the fans will love him here. And then Roy coming in, I think he got a little bit more in his bag than what people think, you know. Looks very skilled out there, even if he's good in D zone and kind of all over the ice. So I'm excited about that. And then Masali, the little guy, nice hands, and no, it looks good. I mean, it's every player that we added, I like and seems like great guys, and that's important too, right? So no, I'm super excited about what we did. Obviously, losing Mitch. Got the chance to play with Mitch for a year and loved every minute of it. So obviously a hell of a player and any team with Mitch is gonna be a good team. So obviously wish him all the best and I'm very thankful for the opportunity to play with him.
Looking forward to January 15th and January 23rd. Not like we have those dates circled on our calendars here in Toronto. But the one cool thing I did see behind the scenes is how you almost took your buddy Pontus Holmberg under your wing. And I thought that was a really good leadership quality. Just show this guy the ropes. And I'll say it, I think it's a big reason why Pontus had a breakout season. Like, how much are you going to miss him? And how weird is it to going to see him, on a rival like Tampa too, right?
Well, that's very nice of you to say. But you know what? Like Pontus and I, we kind of saw the game and loved the game the same way. So it was kind of easy to uh, get to know each other and obviously spending a lot of time together on the road and around the rink. But I think that's one quality, if you can call it that I'm trying to bring, like trying to be there for whoever needs me and no, Pontus and I had a lot of fun together and obviously it's a big loss for our team and for myself, I feel like. So but I feel like he's going to be good in Tampa and obviously that's how the business works a little bit too, right?
Yeah, and every time I saw him even going in the room, always had that cheeky smile on his face to like dap him up. Like, what a beauty. And I hope for good things for Pontus in Tampa. Just to wrap, the first goal of the Stanley Cup playoffs, I thought it was hilarious. We're all jacked for that day. We're getting ready for game one against Ottawa. Like, who's going to score this goal? Is it going to be Matthews? Is it going to be Marner and Nylander? And it's Oliver Ekman-Larsson. You had a great celebration. What was that like to kick off, the postseason the way you did? Adding that offensive element, especially knowing that this team brought you in to put them over the hump, so to speak, in the playoffs?
No, I mean, it's obviously, I never look at it as goals or assists or whatever, right? Like it's more than that, but obviously chipping in here and there, it's nice, and I seem that I kind of saved it for the playoffs in in goals at least. But no, it's always fun, and I mean, it's always fun to score in big goals and kind of like stepping up a little bit, and that's what I want to do, and that's why I still play, and that's why I still want to win. So no, that's I'm super excited about this opportunity here again this year and take the next step as a team and organization. So no, we're really looking forward to it and can't wait to get going here.
The last thing I want to ask you about, I have no clue about even at 36, and that's fatherhood. I did some research as well. I didn't even know this, but Leo Phoenix, and obviously Leo, the initials OEL, and Phoenix, where you started your NHL career. What's it been like being a dad, and how much has that changed you?
No, I think it have helped me a lot. Just to like, I was always a guy that kind of brought the game home with me, uh, good and bad. But wifey was kind of tired of me talking about hockey when I got home after a loss or when I did something stupid out there. So she kind of like, hey, if you need to stay at the rink for 2 more hours, you do so. But I don't want to hear about it. But it's been great. Obviously, it's easier to kind of come home after a loss, or but at the same time, like just sharing that moments with him and wifey, it means a lot. So yeah, it's something that you can't really explain if you don't have kids. So it's just an unbelievable feeling. It's so much fun, and he's crazy about hockey right now too. So I don't know what to do with him.
You gonna feel that pressure to get him cooking? Like Rosie's got 2 boys as well. Like, are you just gonna let him figure out what he wants to do?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of hard because he's at every game and
Yeah.
he loves it, right? So it's kind of hard to not like get him into hockey, but it's not like I'm forcing him every morning. But it's fun as long as he likes it and wants to do it. That's how I feel. I mean, he's just 1.5, so it's still early. A lot can happen, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. So we'll see if we can get him on skates here soon.
I think you're
Sounds
going to have a
good.
lot of years ahead of you in the arena still, even when you're done playing.
Yeah,
It sounds like.
no, it's
Well,
fun.
Ollie, I can't thank you enough, man. Harsh reality. I am single. Tough to admit at 36, but such is life. Happy to have met you last year, man. It's pretty damn cool. And I remember even hanging out with you years past, All-Star weekends and stuff like that. So it comes full circle. Looking forward to season number 2 here in Toronto. Best of luck, and we'll keep in touch, okay?
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
The man, the myth, the legend himself, Oliver Ekman-Larsson. A very fun interview, going behind the scenes a bit with the Leafs player. I like that.
I think those Swedes are almost a little bit too nice, if that is
Got a dark
possible.
side, he said. I love that.
He also said he brings work home with him sometimes, so maybe he's right hooking that new baby every once in a while, and he's got that sorted out. So maybe there's some darkness behind there, but I doubt it, man. Like I said, I've never met a Swede that wasn't just an unbelievable dude, and there's one right there as well in OEL.
I was ribbing him a bit about that clip. I loved it. I got a dark side.
Which clip? I'm not following.
He's got the interview we just played. He mentioned people think he's this lax, cool guy, but he's got a dark side on the ice.
Oh, gotcha. Well, I know, and he's talked about, the whole league has done that the last 10 years, which is in his prime. Guys played like complete pussies out there, and I think he's smart enough to realize that, hey, we're starting to value some other stuff around here, and he's going to bring that to the table, which I love, and our back end is fairly gritty, man. I like that. And, you see the success of other teams who play a little gritty, and I'm glad we got guys on our side that understand that, guys at the helm that understand that, guys running the team that understand that. It's just nice to start hearing after they're like, for 9 years, we'll backhand sauce our way across the ice to victory. And it just does not work as things changed, Mox. So, yeah, good guy to have on your group, as you can tell.
They're gods in this market. Don't forget that. X though writes in, impressive getting all these Leafs players on. We agree with you. Sir Bob Laws writes in, I prefer Swedish girls. All right. Thank you for disclosing that in the chat. Appreciate that. Tying up some loose ends before we wrap here. We got to that Stolarz conversation earlier on. We got the Luke Fox quote. He didn't say anything, Maxentius, about not wanting to talk during the season about an extension. Says, I want to kind of get it done with as soon as possible, especially before the season starts. But nowhere in that quote do I suggest he needs to get it done the next couple weeks.
Yeah, Max Sessimus Decimus Meridius.
Our guy,
that
man.
is now you take things out of context. No, of course he wants to get it done before the season starts and have it wrapped up before he goes into season mode. Whether that happens or not, I kind of think is a tiny bit irrelevant. It's not that hard to get it over. It's a couple phone calls and talking to your agent, but I imagine Stoli wants to start the 82 game season with that ticket in his pocket so that he can focus strictly on hockey. I understand that. But like I said, I think it's kind of an arbitrary number. They'll get it done when they have time to get it done. I wouldn't be surprised if any day something like that got announced.
By the way, a lot of people asking in the chat while we played that taped interview what we do during those taped interviews. And people think we hack darts. People think we just go outside and we rip darts like it's going out of style, but we don't. I just do some other work. I'm sure you do the same thing. You're monitored on the interview a bit. You're probably on Twitter a bit too, right?
We're not producer Vic out here ripping heat bombs on the patio, but I went upstairs where it's a little bit warmer. I pet my dog. I tried to log into this goddamn app that doesn't work anymore. And then I finally find the password, and then they send me a verification code to a phone number I've never even seen in my life. Like,
okay,
that's
so
life
we're throwing
right now,
shade
man.
at the Nation Network today.
Sick of the bullshit. I know. I hate it so much, but
you still trying to get on Slack?
That's another problem too. No, it's not. I opened this one from our company here, our new company that's bought out our other company, and I got to do a betting gambling safety thing. I try to log in. The whole thing's in freaking Finnish or Swedish or something.
Yeah.
And then when I finally figure out how to get it Danish, and then when I finally figure out how to get it to English, I have no passwords for this. I have never logged in. I have no idea what I'm looking at. I hate that shit. Woo! But let's get to the 360 bet of the day.
Yeah, I was going to say, stay tuned for the next edition of Leafs Morning Take. We find out more on what's going on with Rosie in his private life and trying to figure out the portal website for Better Collective. It's time now for the last call, brought to you by Bet365. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in the game. Use code NATION. That's NATION, NATION. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, visit connexontario.ca. Give me Auston Matthews, Rocker Richard. That's my bet today.
What a random day to throw that out there, but I like
I'm
it.
horny
Maybe
about
you're,
it.
Sneaking in under the radar. I'm sticking with the Jays. My last pick on Tuesday was the Jays run line. They smashed them. Another low scoring affair yesterday, a 2-1 loss. So tonight, I think their bats are going to heat up, and we're taking the run line again. And just think, people, if you would have put your entire nest egg on my advice on Tuesday, you'd be doubled up right now and then some. So think about it. Let's go. Get with the program.
That's why. Why do we think Rosie needs training for gambling? Like, this guy's dialed in. If anything, it's the opposite,
my money,
right?
Man. Does it say anything about being reckless with other people's money? I guess that's not good either.
No, it does not. By the way, if you in the chat have been asking what the scheduling is for the next couple weeks, we're going to start to ramp up, obviously. So next week, we'll have 3 episodes of Leafs Morning Take. So join us next on Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be with you Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the next couple weeks. And I think official launch for Season 4 of Leafs Morning Take, man. Can you believe it? Season 4 of Leafs Morning Take. Day 1 will be October 6th. It's a Monday, 2 days prior to the first game of the season.
Yeah, it seems like it would be Season 3 seems about suitable, but Season 4 seems crazy. But that's pretty exciting. And people who don't think I follow the chat, I do look at the chat. I oftentimes look down on it. I hate how I can't like individual chats or reply to individual chats like YouTube. What year is it here, dude?
I know.
Get figured out. I guess I'm on a ranty morning, but like, what are we doing here when you can't individually like stuff? Nonetheless, lots of good people in there. Lots of stuff happening. Lots of fun. I appreciate it. Appreciate the input and the interaction, everyone that follows this show. It's been a lot of fun, and we're going into Season 4, if you can believe it. Can't wait.
What are the chances you'll be sitting on your couch on Sunday afternoon watching preseason hockey between the Maple Leafs and the Ottawa Senators? What are the chances of that? Because mine are next to none.
Plausible, actually.
Yeah, really? Okay.
Maybe. I think I would like that. Especially we got that, if that say
3
it's that
o'clock
roster
Eastern.
we looked at and we got it, we can look at Michelli with them boys. I'll take a peeky. I'll take a peek Sunday night. Not a lot else going on. But I have to go right now because my grandmother, who's 92, I need to drop her off to get her hairdo done downtown, which is once a week. And she gets owly if I'm not on time.
Does she know what you do for a living? Well, partially for a living.
she says, I wish I could get that darn show to play at my house because she can't figure out how to get
Oh,
next
okay. We
morning
got to
tape.
hook her up with that. Okay. We're going to go then.
Need a
Rosie's
motion.
grandma needs attention. We get that. The haircut's going to look great. So coming back on Monday, folks, have a great weekend. Thank you to Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Thank you to producer Vic. For Jay Rosehill, I'm Nick Alberga. Take care, everybody. Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long-form interviews. We got clips. We got epic rants by Jay Rosehill. We simply have it all.